Joining us right now, former Arkansas governor, former presidential candidate himself, Mike Huckabee. Governor, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Maria. Great to be back.
So I know you've been taken to Twitter a lot with rhyming, and people love it. But what's your take on where we are with this deplorable comment? You said Hillary shows contempt for people in her basket. I think she blew a gasket. Her campaign headed for a casket. Very clever, Governor.
Well, thank you very much. You know, I had to do a little rhyming. Look, the worst thing you can do if you're running for office is to ignite the passions of your opponents. And if you can make all the voters have a reason to not vote for you and to go out and vote for your opponent, it's just the biggest mistake you can make. And Hillary has made it. She's not going to get out of this one anytime soon. This was a monumental error on her part, because in disparaging all the people that she wasn't that specific about, basically if you support Donald Trump, you're deplorable, you're irredeemable, and that's an insult to people who are great Americans. And the worst thing about it, Maria, this is guilt by association. This is saying, oh, there's one or two people that we can point to, and they say they like Donald Trump, therefore all the people who like Donald Trump are like this person. In the 50s, we call that McCarthyism, and Hillary really stepped in it, and she did it in front of the people she shouldn't have done it in front of, the contemptuous elitist snobs, the millionaires and billionaires that America is sick of, because they're the ones who have been running politics by their big contributions.
You know, it's interesting because somebody made a remark that, oh, well, you know, she made a mistake. But the truth is, Caitlin, you made a comment earlier. It wasn't necessarily a mistake. It was a strategy, because she had said the deplorable comment before she ad-libbed it. She actually read it from a script. So it was all part of the strategy.
Exactly. I think she does regret the idea of saying half, you know, putting a number to it. But I think, you know, what we've heard from the campaign, not backing away from this idea that they are saying that the campaign of Trump's is drawing in certain deplorable people.
Yeah.
I do think it was a mistake. Of course, we saw this with Romney. We saw this with Obama, painting with a broad brush a set of voters. You always attack the opponent, not the voters. So I think from that standpoint. But I do think they're looking at polling in the Washington Post ABC poll this week. 60% of Americans think that Trump is biased against women and minorities. I think they think that there's a strategy behind this, that it's not as big of a gaffe as some people are saying.
Risky thing to do.
Yeah, exactly.
But you don't, to make your point as strongly as I can, you don't insult the voters. When Donald Trump wanted to get Bernie Sanders supporters, what does he call him? Crazy Bernie.
Right.
So of course the supporter is not going to support them. By taking on the people who support Trump, it makes it impossible to move those people over to her campaign. And one other thing, she used the word regret. She never says, I'm sorry. She never actually apologizes. Regret is distant. If you remember the interview with Scott Pelley, when she says that she tries to tell the truth, no. You either tell the truth or you don't. You're either sorry or you're not. Regretting is not going to work for her.
Yeah.